Hey everyone, here's what's coming up tonight on News Center Now. We're watching Dorian as it moves its way up the East Coast, but there is a Mainer who's still in the Bahamas. He's talking about what it was like to go through that deadly storm.
Also tonight, we'll meet a young woman who really wanted to be a mom, but physically it seemed like it wasn't in the cards until a surrogate stepped in to help. And you won't believe who that surrogate was. That story coming up. This is News Center Now. And good evening, everybody. I'm Lee Nelson.
And I'm Lindsay Mills. Thanks for being with us tonight. A man from Westbrook is clinging to life after he was hit by a car. It happened just after 7:30 this morning at the intersection of East Bridge Street and Austin Street. Police say 67-year-old Clifford Verrill was rushed to Maine Medical Center with life-threatening injuries. The driver of the car that hit Verrill was 24-year-old Nicholas Moulton of Wyndham. Westbrook police have spent the day reconstructing the scene and are asking anyone who has maybe witnessed this crash to give them a call. A portion of the Austin Street at the intersection of East Bridge Street was closed for most of the morning, but it is back open at this hour. Let's check in first with Jess Conley and see what's brewing here.
Hi guys. Yeah, it was a nice day today. We'll talk about that first before we talk about what's going to happen this weekend. Temperatures right now still in the upper 60s and lower 70s. Not too bad. However, things are about to change for us. We are going to see increasing clouds during the day tomorrow, kind of ahead of Dorian, and then on Saturday, many of us see some rain from Dorian. Okay. This is so Maine. Frost advisories in effect for parts of the state tonight. Tropical storm watches in effect also for the state of Maine. I mean, we really have kind of both ends of the spectrum there, and we're going to talk about the tropical storm watches too in just a second. Mostly clear skies right now. You can see some clouds coming in already off to our south. Those will keep increasing as we go into the day tomorrow ahead of Dorian. Again, rain will start as we go into early Saturday morning. You can see it here. Look at this. Actually, tornado warnings happening in parts of North Carolina. We are not going to see, direct impacts from this storm, but we're talking about wind gusts, guys, for us 40 to 50 miles an hour possibly on Saturday, so certainly something we want to be aware of. Of course, we're going to talk about this in much more detail. We'll go through the timeline and talk about the other half of the weekend too, which looks a little bit nicer. Guys.
Okay, Jess, thank you very much. We'll talk to you again in a bit. Living in Maine, it's pretty unlikely any of us will know what it's like to live through a Category 5 hurricane. Denny Denham from Gray knows what it's like, though.
Yeah, he went to the Bahamas for a fishing trip a little more than a few weeks ago now, not knowing it would turn into a mission to save others in the wake of a deadly storm.
Probably one of the most frightening, scary things I've ever experienced in my life.
This is what Denny Denham saw for the first time once Hurricane Dorian ripped through the Bahamas. Homes destroyed, boats in the middle of roads, even planes.
Actually, a plane that was lifted by the storm surge and lifted up over a fence and then planted on the other side of the airport perimeter road.
Dorian drastically changing Denham's vacation.
Unfortunately, right over the Grand Bahama for a long period of time, basically 2 days, which is just unprecedented.
As Dorian unleashed its fury over the Bahamas, Denham hunkered down in a condo.
The rattling of the roof, the vibrations as the wind goes by, and just the howling. The wind was just screaming down the canal, and just it was incredible, just incredible.
His mission Thursday, helping the locals, including one family thankful to be alive.
Water came in through the doors of their home and kept filling up, and they had to cut a hole in the ceiling and get up in the eaves to escape the water.
Denham also feeling lucky too.
And I just can't imagine having to do something like that.
And the amount of damage a hurricane can cause can't be overstated.
Yeah, we're going to take a look at some statistics from when Hurricane Michael hit last year. $600 million of cotton crops lost, $483 million worth of fruit and vegetables gone, $790 million lost in timber. Michael was the first Category 5 to hit the United States since Andrew back in 1992. Now to an update on a story we told you about a few weeks ago.
It's about the efforts to help the homeless in Sanford. In addition to a local restaurant donating food, the police department also created a task force to connect the homeless with the resources they need to get back on their feet. However, in the last several weeks, police say they've seen an increase in people leaving bags of clothing and other large donated items near some of the places where dozens are living in tents. They say it's become a problem because not all the items are being taken or used, and it's turned into an issue of littering. So they're now warning people not to drop off items and instead find a charitable cause like an organization that you can donate to. And depending on the amount of litter, violators can face fines of at least $500. So good to know.
Yes, indeed.
A family that couldn't have a baby turned down someone else to help, one of their own to help.
Yeah, wait until you see this story. It's kind of a miracle, really, and it's coming right up on News Center.
Welcome back, everyone. A follow-up today on the effort to prevent babies from being left in the back of hot cars.
Yeah, 4 more car makers have announced a commitment to make rear seat reminder systems standard. They are General Motors, Ford, Fiat Chrysler, and Toyota. They're aiming to make safety equipment standard on almost all passenger vehicles in the U.S. by 2025. So far this year, 35 children in the U.S. have died when they were left in overheating cars. 53 died the same way last year. A few automakers, including Nissan, Hyundai, Kia, and Subaru, are already offering rear seat reminder systems as an option or standard on several models.
Ford Motor Company, meanwhile, has teamed up with an artificial intelligence company called Argo to work on cars that not only drive themselves, but clean themselves too. I could use this. Bugs and other gunk on the road are a problem, but the cameras as a sensor on self-driving cars must stay clean to really work well as well. So Ford has been developing a self-cleaning system. The company has been testing the new system by spraying dirt and dust onto the sensors, and then it creates its own synthetic bird droppings to stimulate that as well, to smear on those cameras as well. They've also been launching bugs at the sensors at high speeds using their own bug launcher gun. To clean off the gunk, the sensors are sprayed down and quickly dried. I could use that.
I know, everybody could use that.
In the summer in Maine especially.
All over the place, that's kind of cool.
And with the seagulls, I mean, the list goes on and on. Well, Facebook is trying its hand at matchmaking. That story when we come back.
All right, and Jess Conley is back with a full look at the forecast, and she'll explain this equation, too.
After years of infertility, one couple thought their dream of having children might never come true.
But fast forward a little bit, their house is full thanks to a really cool mom and some luck. Check it out.
The likelihood of us being successful being parents was so low. Regardless to who you are and what your situation is, if you don't give up, there is a pathway to parenthood. We met as first week medical students, and when we got married 3 years later, we immediately started trying to build our family. I knew that I had a medical condition that may make it difficult, and after a year of trying, when we had not conceived, we started seeing a fertility doctor. After 5 years and 6 rounds of IVF, the doctors said that we needed to switch gears and consider a gestational carrier, which in the lay community is referred to as a surrogate. The prospect of another woman that you don't know carrying that baby, that's really, really an awful thought. We were devastated.
When we learned that it was going to be a struggle, I watched my beautiful daughter, who was always a happy spirit, become sad. Seeing her in that way, seeing her unhappiness, we felt perhaps we can do something to help. And we thought, now who could be this surrogate? And I said, well, what about us? So we posed the question to Camille, and they kind of laughed at us. And I said, well, no, please, take us seriously. Let's look into this. They did some diligence and were assured I probably wouldn't die. They said, well, why don't we give it a try?
I saw the first one get pulled out, and that baby was screaming. I thought, I'm a mom. I saw these little beautiful people. They were ours. We had overcome. It's great that we overcame, but there are so many who don't have all of these advantages that we have, and they are dealing with the same infertility, because infertility doesn't care who you are, where you come from.
There is still a stigma with infertility, and there's still a lack of knowledge and a kind of ignorance about what it is.
We thought we can give back to one family, and then we will feel like we have paid it forward.
We were just trying naturally and nothing was really happening. So we decided to go to the fertility clinic. We found out during that time that both of my fallopian tubes are blocked.
Do you have just $30,000 sitting in your bank account for kids?
We were stuck with the financial burden. I think we were just stuck there for a while.
Yeah, we were stuck there for a while.
The Cave Foundation came to our church for a family building seminar, so we looked into them, applied, and then the story kind of goes from there. I would want them to know that we're grateful to them, that we're happy to be an extension of their foundation now.
I don't know anybody else that's walking around saying that I have a foundation that can help you. What they've done is awesome.
There are so many pathways to parenthood, so you don't just have to be resigned to infertility. So I would encourage everyone to never give up and to know that resources exist.
I'm proud of her. I'm proud of that daughter of mine. I always knew I would be proud of her.
Wow, what a great story, huh?
I know. Infertility can affect so many people, so many couples, and what a great way to pay it forward.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Fabulous. All right, let's turn our attention back to the weather. Jess is here.
Hi.
Hello.
Yeah, we have a lot going on. There's so much to talk about
Yeah.
tonight. You know, we have frost advisories and tropical storm watches.
That's pretty crazy.
There's a lot happening over in that little office over there. Right now, outside, we have a couple clouds moving in into far southern Maine, York, and Cumberland County. Just starting to see a few, but that's really it for right now. Now, as we go into the day tomorrow, those clouds continue to increase ahead of Dorian. That is going to be affecting most of us during the day on Saturday. So, again, lots to talk about. Mostly clear, though, today. It was a nice day, right? Hope you got a chance to enjoy it. Things are about to change a little bit. Still 65 in Portland, 71 in both Lewiston and Augusta and Bangor right now at 70 degrees. So tomorrow doesn't look too bad. Temperatures tomorrow morning will start out a little on the cool side for sure, especially if you're in far northwestern Maine. Most of us start out in the upper 40s and low to mid 50s tomorrow. Then we'll warm up, we'll make it back into the upper 60s, close to 70, but you'll start to see these clouds really increase as we head into tomorrow afternoon and certainly into tomorrow night. And that's when we'll start to see rain move in too. You can see overnight into early Saturday morning, a couple sprinkles in far southern Maine. Then as we go into the early morning hours of Saturday, this is 4 a.m., we're starting to see that rain closest to the coast, and that continues to move through as we go throughout the day on Saturday. I know a lot of people have plans on the weekend. I know a lot of weddings are happening on Saturday. Unfortunately, it doesn't look great in the morning. Now, some good news is, looks like this moves out as we head into the late morning and early afternoon hours of Saturday. So it's good. We're not going to warm up though. Temperatures, you'll notice, will stay in the upper 50s. So it is going to be a pretty chilly day. Some of us may make it to about 60, but that's about it. So rain gets out of here by Saturday night, and then Sunday actually looks pretty nice. But it is going to be rainy, and it's also going to be windy, and we'll look at that in just a second. Hurricane Dorian still a Category 2 storm, winds of 105, gusting up to 125, now moving to the northeast, picking up speed, and that's how it's going to get here so quickly as we head into this weekend, especially on Saturday. All right, let's take a look now at what's happening. You can see tornado warnings in parts of the south and parts of North Carolina right now. Some of the outer bands of hurricanes can actually spin up a few tornadoes. That is not expected to happen here, so I don't want anyone to be thinking that. However, we're keeping a close eye on it, and so are the hurricane hunters flying through this right now. Here's the plane. This is actually live. They saw surface pressure at 958 and wind speeds up to 105. Pretty impressive stuff. So this continues to move along the southeast coast. It's going to pass, fairly close to us, but enough, of course, to have some impacts on our weather for the first half of the weekend. And as far as the wind gusts go Saturday morning, winds will start gusting to 30 to 40 miles an hour. This is 8 o'clock on Saturday morning. By Saturday afternoon, though, we could see much higher gusts, especially along the down east coast. I do think 55 is a little on the high side, but I wouldn't be surprised to see a few gusts to 50 on the down east coast where those tropical storm watches are in effect. Those are in effect from Schoodic Point all the way to Eastport. For tomorrow, our marine forecast will have seas of 2 to 4 feet, winds from the east at about 5 to 10 knots. Water temperatures currently at 64 degrees. So again, it's not too bad tomorrow, guys. Those clouds increase pretty quickly, though, as we head into tomorrow afternoon. But Saturday, especially the morning and the closer you are to the coast, kind of the more yucky it looks. It's going to be rainy, windy. Those winds could gust 40 to 50 miles an hour, especially along the down east coast. More sun, though, as we head into the second half of the weekend, so it'll be a little bit nicer into early next week, too. But yeah, if you're anywhere from Schoodic Point all the way up to Eastport, definitely prepare for this because, wind gusts of 50 miles an hour, really no joke, plus all the rain. So
maybe if you have outdoor furniture, that sort of thing.
Get that inside, any tents or anything set up like that.
And then watch a movie or 2 or 3.
Yes. Yeah.
Right?
For sure.
All right. Perfect. Thanks, Jess, very much. All right, Facebook. What are they getting into next?
Oh, let's just see.
The dating game. Okay, crazy but true. This morning they launched Facebook Dating here in the U.S. after offering the service previously, actually in 19 countries, so it's not that new. Only available to Facebook members 18 years or older on the Facebook app. The service will live in a separate space from users' Facebook profiles to keep the dating activity away from your news feed, unless you want to put it there. A user can only send one message to someone they're interested in until and if that person chooses to respond.
I think that's important.
Yes.
That's an important thing. You don't want to be oversliding into someone's DMs.
Yes, indeed.
All right. Samsung says it will start selling its folding phone tomorrow, but in South Korea. Okay. After the original launch date was delayed by months because of screens flickering and phones breaking. The South Korean tech giant said that the Galaxy Fold is going on sale after it spent the past several months refining the device to improve its design and construction. The nearly $2,000 phone will be available later in the month by other key markets, including here in the U.S., France, and Singapore, with 5G versions available in Britain and Germany.
All right, what is the best and maybe only good thing about summer being over?
I know for you, it's football.
Yes, the NFL season is back, the 100th season. Tonight the action gets started when the Chicago Bears host the Green Bay Packers, and you can watch that game right here on News Center Maine. Pre-game coverage starting at 7:30, kickoff around 8:20. Patriots, of course, are unveiling their 6th banner, and they face the Steelers on Sunday. And Clay Gordon and Jess Gagne will be down at Gillette all day getting ready for the game, and we'll have live coverage on our social media pages at 11 and on TV starting at 6. You can watch the defending Super Bowl champs right here on News Center Maine Sunday at 8:20. That is what I will be doing.
You will be doing just
Absolutely.
that, exactly.
And maybe screaming occasionally at the TV. We have a lot more coming up on News Center at 5:30. We continue our hurricane coverage, of course. We're going to meet some firefighters from Maine, hoping to help those most affected by the storm. We'll tell you how you can help as well.
Also, a woman that has been diving in her blood is now more grateful for every time she gets to go into the water. We'll find out why that is and much, much more ahead on News Center Maine at 5:30.
All right, quick break.
Yes.
We got more coming up, right?
We'll be back.
All right, we're back with this. A scientist who collected DNA from Scotland's Loch Ness suggests the lake's fabled monster might be a giant eel.
Oh.
Okay. Neil Gemmell from the University of Otago in New Zealand says the project found a surprisingly high amount of eel DNA in the water. He's cautioned that it's not clear whether this indicates a gigantic eel or just a lot of little eels, but he said the idea of a giant eel is at least, plausible. Loch Ness is the largest and second deepest body of fresh water in the British Isles.
Some more truth to the Loch Ness Monster. Well, as Hurricane Dorian makes its way up the eastern seaboard, some surfers are taking advantage of the swells. Even with a no swimming warning, they are out there, and kite surfers could be seen in the surf at Kill Devil Hills in the Outer Banks Thursday. Approaching Hurricane Dorian brought strong winds and decent waves for the surfers. Braving the conditions, a few kite surfers did catch some big air. Hurricane Dorian continues to hit the North and South Carolina coasts, and we will have more on that throughout the next 90 minutes on News Center Maine.
It's kind of cool to watch.
It is cool.
Yeah.
They have to be daredevils to do
Yeah,
that.
indeed. All right, News Center 5:30 starts right now.